My name is José Pedro. I'm an associate professor at Karolinska Institute in a center that we have there. It's a very large institution, but a center called the Stockholm Malaria Center. I've been working with malaria for a long time, for like 20 years, and always from a point of view not only of the disease itself, the parasite, the infectious disease, but also from a point of view of the human pharmacogenetics. And that's because of it that I'm here. We work a lot in the field. We work in many places in Africa. We almost don't work in South America, unlike most of the guests that you have here. We work in Africa. I've been working in East Africa, in West Africa, in several places, running and participating in clinical trials of especially efficacy trials in malaria. It's a hard work because we are dealing with very, very poor populations, very non-trained populations. Sometimes they don't know how to write and read. There are even cases, extreme cases, where they never saw a bathroom. It's stuff like that. And so there's a big cultural difference between us on this side, the scientists just invading those cultural environments, and the people that are there with their own culture. So this becomes a bit complicated sometimes to interact. I think the reason was here is because of his experience, and Professor Irene invited me for that. The environment is very different from South America in general. In Africa, it starts that we are Caucasians, we are white. Kids, 4-year-old, they get very afraid of us. They've never seen a white person live. Maybe they saw something in TV, but never live. And that's the first thing. We enter like in the health center to start the trial, and it's very difficult to interact because the small kids, and we work with malaria, small kids in general, they really get very afraid of us. And that is a symbol of one of the problems, how to interact with these people. When we make trials, we have legally and per pure decency, we have to try to explain what the trial is about, why we're doing that, why we're asking blood from the small kids there. And we're talking about people that have no idea what is a cell, have no idea what is a gene, have no idea of these kind of realities. So it becomes the big moment is when we identify the person and we approach this, typically a mother, and ask, would you like to participate in our trial? It is the informed consent moment. The informed consent moment is when you explain. You do explain why you're doing this and what are the advantages and disadvantages of people to participate. It's a complex time because on one side you want to be honest. You want to say, well, this has these dangers, this has the bad things. On the other hand, you say about the advantages. But this kind of cost-benefit calculation is a very westernized way of seeing things. So it's difficult. On one hand, we don't want to abuse. And these are mothers that don't have money for the drugs, they don't have money for the antimalarials, and they will accept almost anything, most of them. Whatever we say, they will sign up. And that's on a way no good. On the other hand, if we put some doubt on them, like there is a very vague, but we have to say, probability that the kid gets an adverse event with the drug, we create a distrust moment also. They just are not sure to participate. Sometimes they don't participate. It's good for the kids because they're a bit afraid of it, but we have to do that. And that moment is very complicated. It has been my main barrier, say, cultural barrier. My proposal for that, and that's what we discussed, is that this critical point of contact with the populations in most cases have to be done by professionals, not by people like me. I'm a molecular biologist. I work 70% of my time inside the lab at Karolinska in Stockholm. It's for local people that speak the local language, that understand the local culture, and ideally people with a training on social sciences, in anthropology, or in the local cultures, local language is fundamental. And even from an ethnic point of view is completely different. Someone that is actually being approached by someone else that is obviously from another social strata, but it's from the same culture. If anything else, they look more alike, and that is important. There I could be speaking for hours about the many small hurdles we have, but I think that this in the trial is the most important moment for the trial to be fair from an interaction point of view and actually efficient. And well, this is my advice for anyone starting to think, especially anyone European or North American, starting to think about making a trial in very poor environments in Africa with very different culture.